And first up, the Northeast Regional Security Council has led a team from the Ghana Armed Forces to the Tripoli district following weeks of tension between the Tambo and Wenchike communities and threats of violence. The two communities clashed last month, leading to the death of at least 4 people and several houses burned. Correspondent Ilyasu Tanko joins me with the latest from there. Good afternoon to you, Ilyasu. What is the current situation where you are?
Well, it's a bit tense in this particular community. As we are currently at the Tambo community, where the Regional Security Council is meeting with the feeding faction in this community. From here, we will proceed to the Wenchike community to meet the other factions. And it's really a very tense situation here. You can see the youth are still very angry, and the Regional Security Council is trying to talk to them about peace and to ensure harmony in this particular community. So even though people are gearing out for Christmas in this particular community, the situation is very, very tense.
Well, so you mentioned that the security personnel have been engaging leadership of both communities. Tell us a bit more about the message to them and how has that message been received by both communities?
But what we understand triggered this particular violence is that the Vice President on the 20th of last month was coming to Nalergo for a thank you tour, and then the chief of Wenchike was invited. On his way into the Tambo community, a group of youth barricaded the road and attacked him. But today, what the community members here in Tambo are telling the Regional Security Council is that the situation had been brewing, and they blame the chief of Wenchike for this particular violence. They are saying that the security have to be up and doing and ensure that the chief of Wenchike is arrested because they believe that he is the engineer of the violence in the Wenchike community.
Well, it's been weeks, Ilyasu, since the clashes, which resulted in the death of at least 4 people and several houses burned. Any help for the victims so far?
So we are now learning that more than 7 people, including a 73-year-old man, was killed, and all of them happen to be members of the Jabo clan in the Wenchike community. We understand that through the traditional process, these victims have been buried. The NADMO is also here, so the regional minister has directed the NADMO to take up the case of these particular victims and provide them enough relief items.
All right, Northeast Regional Correspondent Ilyasu Tanko there. I appreciate your time and the update this afternoon. Also, after a long night, Parliament has, by majority decision, passed the emissions levy bill, which will, among other things, charge all petrol and diesel car owners 100 cedis every year, beginning January 2024. Government introduced this tax as part of its drive towards more climate-positive actions and to offset its carbon output. The VAT Amendment Bill, which imposes VAT on insurance premiums, VAT on imported textbooks, erasers, and other stationery, was also passed. This bill will also see zero-rate VAT on locally manufactured sanitary parts. Additionally, Parliament has approved the Appropriation Act, authorizing government to spend in excess of 259 billion Ghana cedis for the year ending 2024. Joining me on Zoom, Parliamentary Affairs Correspondent Kweku Asante, who spent the whole night in Parliament. Bring us up to speed, Kweku, on what transpired in Parliament overnight.
Daryl, so it was a long night. MPs had to stay till about 4:30 before the closing remarks were said, and MPs had to now go to their various constituencies for the Christmas break that is just on the horizon. So what happens usually on the last day is that MPs, the majority leadership, usually move some of this crucial business to the very last moment, especially now that the numbers are really razor thin in the House. So the strategy is to try and wear your opponents out and try and get what you want. So yesterday, they started off arguing about the president's comments about not signing some bills, spent such a great amount of time on that, and then took a long suspension of about 2 hours and came in and started considering the last estimates for the various government agencies, ministries, and departments. So they started off approving 170 billion for what is called other government services. This is where government do some really intense capital projects. This is also where government pays interest on its loans, among other things. 170 billion for the finance ministry to spend on other government obligations. The minority clearly were not happy about that, insisting that 170 billion at one ministry was recipe for chaos, recipe for corruption and all that. Then came that decision by Parliament to investigate the SML deal. So the Finance Committee, made up of both NPP and NDC MPs, in such a shocking manner that people who love bipartisanship would actually appreciate, decided that that SML deal was not good for the country, and because it was also a multi-year deal, must now be investigated by Parliament, and that GRA must stop payment to the company until until Finance Committee of the House does its work on investigating that. We heard from the minority leader who really said that this must be investigated by Parliament and that this investigation must be made public. So that report of the Finance Committee has been adopted. The Finance Committee is set to investigate that SML deal, which the fourth estate did its investigation, caused a sweetheart deal that is costing the state more than 3 billion cedis on that. And then the House came back just around 7 p.m. and started working on the appropriation and all the revenue measures that you've talked about. They were quite controversial because the minority has signaled their intention that they were not supporting it and they were going to vote against it. So it started off with the VAT Amendment Act, where the minority had really said that this was a bad law and they were against it. This VAT law, among other things, what it does is to zero rate VAT on locally manufactured sanitary pads. But also a little catch there, it increased the number of things that the minority did not like. So they had to put those to a voice vote first. They did not like the result, and they had to call MPs one by one. It was such a wearing out, tedious exercise that ran deep into the night. And then when the minority lost that, because 3 of their colleagues were not on the floor, they really knew that they did not have the numbers. So for all the other business that they were opposed to, they made the opposition clear on the floor by debating against it. But when it came to the vote, after a voice vote and they lost, they didn't challenge it anymore. So it went on and went on till the emissions levy bill also, which will impose 100 cedi tax on internal combustion vehicles, that is petrol and diesel vehicles. They're going to pay 100 cedis every year. So this is coming into effect on the 1st of January. That means if you have not renewed your roadworthy, for instance, and you go and do it between 3rd and any time in 2024, and you go to DVLA, don't be surprised. You'll be asked to pay 100 cedis. That is not VRA trying to extort you. That is Parliament having approved the emissions levy bill that will let you pay 100 cedis for that. And so there were quite some spectacles there up until Parliament, just around 4:30, passed the appropriation bill, giving government 259 billion Ghana cedis to spend in 2024. And so that is what government will be spending in 2024. And Parliament is hoping that government will stay within this ceiling. Election year, don't go overspend and increase the deficit of the country. So it was such an incredible time in Parliament yesterday. Just about 5 a.m., the House had to adjourn with closing remarks from both leaders and then the Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osewu. So for those of you who were probably sleeping or catching up with other things, here's what you may have missed on the floor last night. Daria.
Definitely a long night. If we still have you, Kweku, any news on the anti-gay bill? So those were excerpts of happenings in Parliament overnight, just in case you missed. Let's move on to other news. A 24-year-old graduate stripped down to her underwear, beaten and robbed in a moving taxi at 7:30 p.m. 48 hours ago is urgent vigilance during the festive period. The family members of the victim are dissatisfied with how the police is handling the incident which happened at Hacho. Maso Agbagba of our security desk has more.
It's just about 5 minutes from here to get to the victim's residence. And this was where she stood to wait for the taxi, which already had one man at the front seat, the driver, and then another man at the back seat. She's been narrating what she encountered on the journey to us.
Whilst I was in the car, the driver complained about traffic being on the road, that he wanted to divert. And I was like, no. If that's the issue, I want to get down. So I looked at the traffic he's complaining about, and immediately I turned my head to look at the traffic. The guy sitting next to me covered my face, covered my nose, covered my head, put me on his lap, and started punching me. I don't know the time the passenger in front came to sit next to me. They took my phone, asking for my phone password. So they were hitting me, punching me. So I was trying to raise my head up to see where exactly I was. So every time I raised my head up, they would knock me and push my head back down. They were speaking the tree dialects. Knocking me and pushing my head back down. Say, so why you didn't work hard? Do my head with you? Now when the idea taxi driver and answer, in the car and punching me, hitting me. I was trying to scream. Maybe if anybody else aside the police can hear my voice. When I was screaming, I think that was what was pissing them off more. So they kept on hitting me, that I should keep quiet, punching me every part of my body. So they stripped me naked, they took my dress off, tied it so tight. My dress was a very thick fabric, so I couldn't see to see where I was going. So whilst all this was going on, the car was just moving. I didn't know where I was. So I heard them saying something like, yeah, they know come malam no ho. If I no see malam no ho, go do malam no ho. You malam no pay and the deal pebia. So I was nervous. In my head, I was like, this is really my last day on earth. We are taking her to the spiritualists to do the lesser God, so he can use her for whatever he wants to use her for. So that was what I think that meant. So in my head, I was like, this is really my last day on earth, and I don't think I can survive. I was teary because I was thinking about my family, my friends. Like, nobody knows where I am. If I was supposed to die here, nobody knows that this is where I came to die. So they took everything from my bag, my 2 phones, my money, my everything, my national IDs.
What kind of phones did they take from?
It was a 12 Pro and a 7 Plus. They took everything. They took my national ID. My rosary was even in my bag, thinking they would even say, take your rosary and go away. They took everything away.
Well, so this is the spot where the 3 men dropped the 24-year-old victim. She tells us that she had to find her way from here to the junction before she managed to get home.
So they just threw me off. When you see my knee, I have some sores on my knee. They threw me off with my head still covered. So I had to now untie the dress. I was running with like a dress covered on my head. I was running, asking to untie it, trying to ask for help. So someone should help me. But I look like a mad woman. Everyone who sees me would think I'm mad because I was naked. So I haven't been able to sleep. I can't eat. I don't remember last time I actually ate. It's just what I've been drinking throughout. Every time I close my eyes, I still remember how the guy covered my face. Like, it's just a dark scene. I personally think everyone needs to be careful. Be one step ahead. Think smarter than whoever you are with. Everyone is a suspect.
You are dissatisfied with how police is handling the matter. Can you tell us more about that and what exactly you want police to do?
So when I ran to the police station to ask for help, they were not really interested in whatever I brought to them, because I didn't even know there was a police station there where they dropped me. So the first thing I saw was a police station, and I was happy because I was like, oh, at least the police will follow up. Nobody was interested. There were patrol cars. Nobody was interested in sparking to see, let's see how we can chase. Nobody was interested.
Very terrible incident there. We all must be vigilant during this festive season. Well, let's take you next to the Ashanti region, where residents of Wankra in the Jesu municipality kept vigil all night as the community saw its inner road start for the first time after several failed political promises. Many residents until now had sustained injuries as they fell into open drainage constructed several decades ago by contractors who abandoned work. But thanks to the ingenuity of the MP for the area and Deputy Finance Minister John Mahama, new contractors, So Good Engineering and Construction Limited, have completed the work in a record 3 months. My colleague Ohim Theo, who first reported on the bad nature of Ejisu roads, was in the community and has come through with this report.
A farming community in the Ejisu municipality is home to the famous Inland Port project, whose construction began about 19 years ago. Situated on the main Kumasi-Accra highway, the town roads were in deplorable state. Many residents, including the assemblyman for Buankra electoral area, Samuel Fojo, fell into uncompleted open drains.
Mami baako fra de wakadem na me hwɛ me kuhwi maja ɔman na data me ni sa solar light yi etina ɛyɛ main na ya switch na madiasa me kwakoso me refi gata no na me tifi nti emrewa no bi wɔ hɔ no ma en besi nde ye fɛn mami amapa amema da pa ɔhwe gata no ontimi ɔyɛ okuani kɛse pa okuma gata no nti no se wakadem.
The residents could not hide their joy as contractors, So Good Engineering and Construction Limited, moved the equipment to the town to begin tarring the inner roads on Sunday. Led by the assemblyman, the residents helped the contractors clear the road before applying the bitumen.
People came out to help the contractor in doing the bitumen. So we are very much interested in the job they are doing.
The residents kept vigil to see the newly constructed town roads together with the Adadientem community, which also wallowed in bad roads.
You who be that, Obi aba me, so you who be that. That one not the machine be see kwan so who say when you ni pobet ma wa wankra. Enti e na wo gidi so bet ma ya mai. Na gidi na nya na me so na ye. Enti na si na me sha de pa.
Boy me be kwan so the port aba be duru ai. Ani monya na aba wankra. Na ka wankra kwan de say na je say na ka mo akra. Enti economically aboyen, socially aboyen. Omo ye event America competition na penifo nyina ko America e wo kwan no so. E boten nyana manfo e buzo kwan no so. Je say ayende adawache manfo bra.
So Good Engineering and Construction Limited hopes to complete construction of a 25-kilometer stretch by the end of 2023. Prince Asari is chief executive.
We are a company situated in the constituency, so we have to make sure that we do most of the roads for our community. The cry of our community is their roads. They always cry of their roads. So once we are a community-based construction company, we have to do the needful.
Chirikrom, Amwoma Chiansi, Jamasi, Besiasi and Onye are few of the beneficiary communities. From Ejisu, for Joy News, Ohim Theo reporting.
Now, the manager of Environment and Sustainability at the Asanko Gold Mine in the Ashanti region has bewailed the activities of illegal miners on the company's mining concession. And as Darko says, the company's Tonto-Chrome concession has over the years been invaded by galamsey operatives harming the mine's sustenance. He has appealed for government support to curb the activities of illegal miners on the company's concession.
The illegal invasion of mining concessions by illegal miners continue to hinder the activities of Asanko Gold Mine. Over the years, galamseyers at Manso and its environs have faced off the mining company over their concession. The manager of Environment and Sustainability at Asanko Gold Mine, Ernest Darko, bemoaned the continuous battle with illegal miners. He was speaking at an event to hand over 3 projects under the Asanko Social Responsibility Fund.
Problem facing Asanko now is illegal mining. They've taken over our concession and we don't want to engage in a battle with them. So we are using a negotiable approach to negotiate with them or engage them to just leave the site for us to work, because we contribute a lot to the district. Both Amansia West and Amansia South. So once we get access to these areas to work, the entire district and the country will benefit. So that's our only challenge, illegal mining. They've taken over all our concessions and we don't have the resources or the logistics to evict them.
As part of its corporate social responsibility, the Asanko Gold Mine, through its SRF, commissioned 3 projects including the Kwabenaso School Block, Kumpeseke VIP, and the Swatay Teachers Quarters. General Manager of Asanko Gold Ghana Limited, Ahmed Muhadini, highlighted the need for the CSR initiative.
We at Asanko have always endorsed the proposition that the business sector can make a significant positive impact on society through corporate social responsibility. On this occasion, I would like to pay special tribute to the SRF board, who have been very instrumental saying to this fruition of these SRF projects.
Manson Kwanta Maihini Nana Kusi Apia II encouraged the company to continue to help the community with developmental projects.
Adia also yes yeah better my team
We must make sure the community members get work to do all the time. So if there is work here, we must open up to help the community members.
This is the Juma bro Adia. Also only I know the Juma buy no crop. Now what bad in some na adwuma no koso ekoso a sabe ni egina ya mfato.
For JoyNews, Nana Addo, Kumasi.
Now, the Forestry Commission is calling for the involvement of the Ghana Armed Forces in the fight against illegal mining. According to the Executive Director of the Forest Services Division of the Forestry Commission, Hugh Brown, even though the Commission is making strides towards eliminating illegal mining, the absence of the military is making their work difficult, as officers of the Commission are not able to stand up to the sophisticated weapons wielded by the illegal miners. He spoke to the media at the Commission's end-of-year press briefing in Accra.
The illegal invasion of mining.
I believe we are in a much better place now in December than we were when we started the year in January. And if you followed the publications in the press, right from January, there were a lot of arrests and demobilization of equipment, especially in the Bekwai area. We followed up to other parts of the country, in the Western North region, in Central region, in Ashanti region, and all over. And as we speak, we've been able to demobilize 108 excavators, over 200 large or heavy-duty generator sets that are being used to power these operations, and some vehicles have also been confiscated. We've arrested 218 people or persons involved in galamsey within forest reserves, and the fight is ongoing. Now we can say that in most of the reserves where at the beginning of the year we had illegal mining with heavy equipment like excavators, it's rare to even come across one now. Our guys our field teams are able and active, but we still would plead that to make this fight or this war a successful one, or for us to win this war, we will need the able support of the military. Until November 2022, there was a military detachment that was supporting these efforts within Forest Reserve to help curb illegalities. Not just illegal mining, illegal logging and other forest offenses. But since 1st November 2022, that team has been withdrawn, and we haven't had them back. Because in some cases, you realize that you're matching people who are equally armed as you are. We are only allowed to use pump actions. But in some cases, these illegal miners have much more sophisticated weaponry, and that makes the job very difficult and dangerous. And
you're watching JoyNews Room now. The Ghana Boundary Commission has described the year 2023 as a successful one. Speaking on the sidelines of the annual Executive Management and Stakeholders Dialogue Workshop, National Coordinator Major General Emmanuel Kotia said the Commission was able to carry out its planned reaffirmation exercises with Ghana's neighbors. He said, amongst others, the construction of the first feeder road to Dollar Power in the Savannah region is nearing completion.
The annual Executive Management and Stakeholders Dialogue Workshop brought together key stakeholders from various institutions, including the media, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, the Ghana National Petroleum Commission, and more. The Ghana Boundary Commission has over the years collaborated with different partners and stakeholders at the national, regional, and international levels to ensure the effective and efficient delivery of the Ghana Boundary Commission's mandate and implementation of activities. The retreat is to enhance these strategic engagements towards effective and mutually beneficial partnerships or collaborations in the future. Speaking at the event, National Coordinator of the Ghana Boundary Commission, Major General Emmanuel Kotia, described the year as a successful one for the Commission. He listed some successes chalked by the Ghana Boundary Commission. Major General Emmanuel Kotia said the construction of the first access road to Dollar Power in the Savannah region is nearing completion. He says when completed, the road will help with the regular inspection of the international boundary line with Côte d'Ivoire by security agencies.
It's being held all the activities that we have undertaken since January up to December. The key objective is for us to assess whether we'll be able to achieve our objectives that have been clearly stated in the strategic plan of the Ghana Boundary Commission in fulfillment of the mandate as prescribed in the act that establishes the commission. Basically, based on the assessment, we have overachieved some of our targets, and we are hoping that we are going to build on these results to further enhance the implementation of our mandate in the coming year. For Ghana Boundary Commission, 2023 has been excellent, even though we anticipated to do a reaffirmation of 50 kilometers before the end of December of Côte d'Ivoire, or the lamp between Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire. We were able to reaffirm close to 200 kilometers in that regard. Going forward from January, construction of pillars on all the reaffirmed areas are going to be undertaken, both on the Ghana-Togo side and Ghana-Côte d'Ivoire side. And one major thing that came out clearly during the retreat was that we have not had any serious engagement with Burkina Faso, our northern neighbors. Now, we have just triggered an MOU to be signed between the two countries, the two boundary commissions, and hopefully we are going to do some reaffirmation on the Ghana-Burkina Faso border next year.
And welcome back to the JoyNews Room. Now, flagbearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, is pledging to invest in the Ghana Geological Survey Authority to explore mineral resource deposits in various parts of the country. It is the party's plan to increase earnings from the mineral deposits of the country. According to the former president, what persists presently is not in the interest of the country. Nana Addo is embedded with the Building Ghana tour and has filed this report.
The flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, continued to pull crowd wherever the Building Ghana tour stops. At Ayeldo, the chief of the area, Okakabeng Aiden Ando X, requested the former president make efforts to aid exploration of lithium deposits if successful in staging a return to power. According to him, initial geological investigations have established some lithium deposits in commercial quantities at the area.
Yeah, what deposit of lithium? Our main area here.
We have deposits of lithium in this area. We have it in commercial quantities, and we know it can help develop the town. Majority of our youth here are unemployed.
Lithium no you paint deposit. The madi tui. Brand and Ketesia Wokroma. Majority nyejman ye. All these things are packed.
Mostly, investments into geological surveys are made by foreigners who tend to make more from such mining deposits when successful. The NDC flagbearer says the necessary investment will be made by the next NDC government to ensure the country reaps maximum benefits. Though the country continues to make findings of mineral deposits, it is yet to make impact on the economy. The NDC flagbearer detailed the revenue accrued to the country annually from mineral deposits.
Ghana, Nyame Shrine. If we say you will be beer, you will manganese, you will bauxite, you will gold, Nanseya and Omonia lithium, so akaho.
Ghana is blessed with every resource. We have manganese, bauxite, and gold. Lithium was recently discovered in the country, but we are not investing in exploration. The foreigners come requesting a license for exploration. When they explore and discover the mineral, they apply for mining lease to mine. Because they are funding it, it is very difficult to spell out the terms for them.
Yama akwesi broni ebe ye exploration no so ye exploration ni wi a ene on ebre on the sika be ye exploration no enti owi a o say ene mame mining lease.
The NDC plans to invest in the geological service to explore all the mineral resources of the country so we can make the necessary arrangement to benefit us. Mineral and Mining Code sets the royalties between 6 and 12%, but today we have reduced it to 3%. What we benefit now is 10% current interest, 3% royalties, and corporate income tax of 35%. The foreigners take away the rest.
The youth in this area continue to cry for jobs, and if so, there is a lithium deposit in this area. They believe that exploring this particular resource will be beneficial to the people in this community. For Joy News, Nana Addo reporting.
Meantime, the flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, says voting the MPP is an extension of Nana Addo's tenure. This is notwithstanding the completion of the president's term and subsequent choice of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as flag bearer of the MPP. In an address at Junkwa, the former president, seeking a comeback, describes himself as the frontrunner and the biblical savior. Here's Nana Addo again touring the central region with the NDC.
The first day of the Building Ghana tour of the central region was climaxed with a community engagement at Junkwa in Heman, Lower Denchira. Prior to that, the flag bearer made stops at Chifu Nursing Training College, Fante Nyankumase, among other places to engage the people and the traditional rulers. At Junkwa, Mr. Mahama expressed worry over the rising debt stock, which stands at about 600 billion cedis from 120 billion cedis in 2016. He says the president's refusal to remove the finance minister is to blame.
Say, President, what do you want as finance minister? Yesika Sem, our budget, all say no.
I can't understand why the president has refused to remove his brother from the finance ministry. He has refused to listen to everybody. 80 NPP MPs signed a petition for removal of the finance minister, but the president also refused. You can't understand why the same person is being kept at the ministry. Mr. Mahama believes the country will be plunged into further economic crisis if the NPP is retained, hinting on the current president's influence over another NPP government.
Now to be a president and Kasa Wapaba Nabamabu. If we say Abraham Muya or primaries, and I sent for Asiano, and Ibusan say, na president, the way Jessica Sem Asia say no.
The president himself has lost hope. He told journalists that the president after him will restore the economy in an interview. Whoever votes the NPP in the next election is giving the president another 4-year mandate.
MPP 2024 nature say Nana Addo ediso another 4 years.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mahama is optimistic the NDC holds key to the country's development.
Nyameka chere say obesuma ajenkwa no abeji yankwa.
The Bible talks about a savior to redeem us. I am a Christian and believes Jesus Christ is the one. But before the coming of Jesus Christ, a savior will be sent to redeem Ghana. That individual will be experienced enough for the task. That savior is John Mahama and the NDC.
John Mahama, any NDC
The National Democratic Congress has enhanced efforts to win the central region, which has remained a swing region in various elections.
President Mahama, savior.
For Joy News, Nana Addo reporting.
While the MPP flagbearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is touting the achievements of the government in managing the economy despite the shocks he attributes to external factors. According to him, the measures put in place are what is yielding the steady decline from 35.6% to 26.4% in inflation recently reported by the Ghana Statistical Service. Dr. Bawumia, who was addressing party supporters at a Thanksgiving service, assured that going into 2024, the progress made so far will move the economy into full speed towards economic recovery.
Had to work extra hard to lessen the burdens that crossed into 2023 with us. We started the year with an inflation rate of 53.6% in January. As we speak, the rate for November is 26.4%. A significant drop. When you look at inflation, it has come down. But what is even more remarkable is that prices of items that we normally buy, cement prices are falling. Fuel prices are falling. Cooking oil prices are falling. Iron rod prices are falling. Rice prices are falling. Maize prices are falling. And this is telling us that something is happening, because normally we see increases, but we are seeing declines in price. And we are hopeful, inshallah, that next year, by this time, we will be celebrating and talking about a further reduction in inflation. What we have also seen is that since February, remember, this is when the gold for oil policy came in. Since February, and thanks to the monetary policy of the Bank of Ghana and the fiscal policy of the Ministry of Finance, anchored on the gold for oil policy as well. Thanks to our policies, we have seen the exchange rate between February and November depreciate by less than 5%. That is very remarkable. This has anchored the stability that we are seeing, and we expect this to continue by the grace of God. So, my brothers and sisters, the progress we have made in managing inflation in the past 12 months is an indication of the good work that we have done in rolling up our sleeves to get to work. after turning the corner, we are set to move with full speed towards greater recovery in 2024.
Next, stop sabotaging the party, simply resign. Those are words of the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party as he issues a stern warning to non-performing government appointees as he demands that President Akufo-Addo reshuffles his team. He expressed worry that their actions are capable of sabotaging the electoral gains of the party ahead of the 2024 general elections. He spoke at the party's Thanksgiving service held yesterday. Here's more.
The purpose of the Thanksgiving was for the NPP to express appreciation to God for the protection and mercy granted to the party and government in the year 2023. The NPP acknowledged the challenges it faced and highlighted the lessons learned to improve moving forward. Justin Frimpong-Kodia visibly contended while addressing party members, called for the resignation of non-performing government appointees and urged the president to reshuffle his government.
My last caution goes to the appointees of this government.
If you were a CEO, deputy, NMC, and you believe you can no longer work for government, resign and let others do the work if you are not included in the reshuffle.
So we a minister, we a CEO, we a deputy, we a MMDC. Now say we reshuffle in the so.
It is time for a change, for others to continue the work. If new people come and work, we will have victory in 2024 election.
But how do party members perceive this demand by the General Secretary?
How can one person be in one position? There's some changes, then we're moving on. Because it's sack, but change, different change on sack. But you know, different between sack and change. You can go, stand aside and I can, then we'll try you too. But you get me.
Next year okona yekon ding my empa nti no onsesa won na yenhu won a ombetumi aye adwuma na ohwe no ntumi ye adwuma no yin si nchen yen pese ye position.
Our request to them is that we are bent on breaking the eight. We are bent on securing government. We will be the next people to form the next government again. And for that matter, if you feel for any reason you are tired of delivering, you are tired of the position you are handling, the office of the president is there. Just go and tell him, Baba, you have given me an opportunity. It is enough. I am tired.
Well, it's 2 days to Christmas, and Christmas is often a period of joy and merrymaking, but the experience is not the same for some persons living with disability, especially those in remote villages and remote areas. As part of his program to put a smile on the faces of the less privileged in society, the Ntiamwa Foundation supported persons with disability in the Brim North District.
Over 200 aged persons with disability in the Brim North District of the Eastern Region will experience the joy that comes with Christmas. The Ntiamwa Foundation says through its Xmas giveaway program, the aged and less privileged in society will have a reason to smile this season. With bags of rice and other souvenirs, these individuals went home with something to share. Shiva Opong Banahini is project coordinator of the Xmas giveaway project.
We are here today because of Ntiamwa Foundation. We are organizing an event called the Xmas giveaway project. The purpose of the project is to spread love to persons living with disability and the aged in communities such as Shepai, Intronine and Adesna. All these communities are in the Brim North District. Yes. So in order for them to also enjoy the Christmas and in order for Ntiamwa Foundation to also show love and to get people to also emulate same, we thought of bringing them some provisions for the Christmas. So basically that is why we are here today. The program is being done in partnership with the Social Welfare Department. we were able to get 200 people who have registered onto the data of the social welfare department. So it is the 200 people that we are dealing with. We are giving them Xmas provisions such as rice, oil, mackerel, in order for them to be able to enjoy the Christmas. We are also entreating those who fall within the category of aged and disabled but fail to register to continuously contact the social welfare department and have their names registered, because it is only when they are registered that when such events occur that they will be able to benefit from.
Nana Addo, chief of Shakwa in the Brim North District, expressed his gratitude to the team while calling on other benevolent organizations to support the less privileged in society.
The Foundation has done a lot for the people of Shakwa and its environment. And when I came around to see the agenda, I saw that they actually in the writing for the Xmas, because most of them were contemplating how to, get such items. We are so pleased, we are so happy for the donation. It will go a long way to solve their problem during the Xmas.
The Ntiamwa Foundation says it will continue to partner many government organizations, including the Social Welfare Department, in a bid to provide more support to persons with disability.
Great stuff, and that's our bulletin this afternoon. Thanks for watching, everyone. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com. My name is Darryl Kwao. Enjoy your weekend.